Directly ahead of us is Leinster House, home to the Irish Parliament. This building was designed by Richard Castles in 1745 and inspired the building of the White House in Washington. The top two floors of this building were used as the blueprint for the White House by its Irish architect, James Hogan. As we turn into Kildare Street, the entrance to the National Library is on the right. Further down the street, also on our right, is the Royal College of Physicians, which dates to the mid-19th century and is responsible for the training of doctors. The red brick building, coming up on the right, has some interesting stonework around the windowsills at street level. This was the former Kildare Street Gentlemen's Club, built in the mid-19th century. The stonework satirises the gentlemanly pursuits of the time. Monkeys can be seen playing billiards and hounds chasing hares. We are now on Lincoln Place, and over to the right is the Millennium Wing of the National Gallery. George Bernard Shaw, the writer, always said that he owed his education to this gallery and left in the royalties to 1/3 of all his published works in his will. This bequest included the royalties to Pygmalion, which was later made into the film My Fair Lady. We are now on Westland Road. Number 21, coming up on the left, was the birthplace of Oscar Wilde. His family moved from here to number 1 Merrion Square when Oscar was 1 year old. On our right is St Andrew's Church, which was built in 1832, shortly after Catholic emancipation was granted in 1829. This stop is for Pearse Street Railway Station and Westland Road. You can also get the express bus service to Dublin Airport from this stop. We are now on Pearse Street. Pearse Street was formerly known as Great Brunswick Street, and in the early 18th century was full of orchards and gardens. The street was renamed in honour of Patrick Pearse, one of the leaders of the 1916 Rising, and his brother William. Both brothers were executed after the Rising failed. Their former home, which is over to the right, was restored in recent times, and you can see the sign over the front for James Pearse and Sons, monumental sculptors. Between the windows on the second floor is a stone carving of the brothers. This stump is for Pearse Street. On the right is Pearse Street Fire Station. This was built in 1915 for the Dublin Metropolitan Police and and taken over in the 1920s by the newly formed Garda Síochána, which is the name of the Irish Police Force and means Guardians of the Peace.
Yeah, I've gone around
On our right, beside the Garda station, the standing stone is a replica of one erected by the Vikings when they arrived here in the 9th century, and is called a Stein stone. In Viking times, the River Liffey was much broader and shallower than it is today. It ran right up to where the stone stands today. Everything you see to the right of this stone is built on reclaimed land.
This is Canal Bridge. This is Finkel Street. There's a pub on the left called Club Atomic. And on the right we have the Zuzu Lounge. Finkel Street. Finkel Street is named after
Sir George Finkel.
Sir George Finkel, born in 1508. Ale.
And sunbed shops.
On the right we have a lovely sunbed shop.
As we drive on College Street, we will have Trinity College on our left and the Bank of Ireland directly ahead. The building housing the Bank of Ireland was built in 1729 and housed the Irish Parliament until 1800. In January 1801, an Act of Union was passed, uniting the Irish Parliament with the Parliament at Westminster, and the Irish Parliament's building was bought by the Bank of Ireland shortly afterwards. During its days as a Parliament House, Jonathan Swift once wrote of the building, "Just a stone's throw from the college, half the world from wit and knowledge. Tell me what that pile contains, many a head that holds no brains."
Get a picture of that map.
I can't eat afternoon tea. Where my breakfast is
George Clooney.
I regret that. Did you have two breakfasts? I had
Coming in.
It's cooked breakfast.
It is the one.
My wife is gone.
I was really impressed.
It needs to have a warm
breakfast.
He was only 31.
George.
Oh yeah.
40, 45.
I was really upset because mushrooms came. Mine came and
Yeah, because then if we get off at this one, we're only 3 away from where we need to be.
It didn't look very big.
Yeah, but I mean, when we get off at 15, we're only 3 away. And it's a 10-minute walk, so we need to be there for 4.
We're getting off though. Where are we getting off?
15.
Which is?
I think it's